In South Africa, the period between the late 1700s and 1840s was one of war, colonization, raids, hunger, death and the dismantling of many tribes. This period is referred to as the Mfecane or disruption. Shaka was a Zulu leader in a region called Natal for some years during this period who, until recently, has been portrayed by many sources as the sole cause of this disruption. But today, we are going to discuss the reliability of such sources by questioning the accuracy of the portrayal of Shaka in the 1985 TV series Shaka Zulu.
In this shot, we see Shaka with pretty impressive abs and war attire. For some, this image was also one of the most remarkable things about this series.
The few sketches we have of Shaka offer similar portrayals. Whether this image of a half-naked ripped man with a spear was created to intimidate Europeans and spark fear in them, or even if it was, be it unlikely, to create an impressive idea of Shaka, no sketches or visual recreation of him can be accurate because no one actually knows what he looked like. There are no photos of him and the sketches were made by people who only saw him briefly. Most were made after his death.
Shaka Zulu created an image of an animal-like, freakish and savage Zulu society. Because there are only oral accounts of the norms in these societies, there is no proof that the Sangomas, witch doctors, were so involved in events, or that courting really happened this way. Even if life in the Zulu tribe really was so mythical, this version is very dramatized. I mean, every scene is followed by dramatic music and a shot of the Sangoma on a hill. Every storyteller chooses what they want to include in their story, and adding these shots most definitely had an effect on audiences, and we are pretty sure the directors knew exactly what that effect would be. We should be careful to trust these portrayals, because they could potentially, most probably, be propaganda that the British used to shape their nation's view of Shaka and to justify the changes and violence the settlers brought to South Africa.
Some sources paint an image of indigenous African tribes before Shaka as peaceful and without war or conquering of land. They say warfare was more ritual than destructive and that there was no close quarters fighting, that no tribe tried to expand because everyone was happy under their own kingship. Shaka is portrayed as the Napoleon of Africa, who changed all this by bringing a new philosophy to the Zulus. He was the first to try to expand his tribe by conquering others and their land. Although we can accept that Shaka did expand the Zulu tribe more than ever before and that there were similarities between him and Napoleon, we have reason to question the fact that he brought war to a previously peaceful country.
Firstly, warfare already existed in Africa. Shaka served as a warrior and later as the leader of a type of regiment, a mabuto, long before he became king of the Zulus, which means warriors, troops and war already existed. Why else would such systems be in place? Yes, it might be true that Shaka created changes in this system with his new weapons and tactics, such as the bullhorn, but it is hard to believe that Shaka would bring strategic warfare to a place where there were no wars to be fought.
Secondly, even if we can assume that Shaka brought a new philosophy of conquering to Africa and that he wanted to expand his power, there is still controversy between sources about whether Shaka conquered land and other tribes through violent raids and combat or through diplomatic bargaining. For all we know, the British colonialists could have felt so threatened by the Zulu leader who was succeeding in uniting tribes through negotiation and, when needed, clever war strategy, that they lied and said he was a vicious tyrant that started wars against innocent tribes just for his own gain.
Here we see Shaka's mother Nandi being buried. She is buried along with a lot of live bodies, crying as they're covered in dirt. Once again, because we have limited information, there could have been people buried with the deceased, but we can't be sure, and we don't know whether they're buried alive. This scene creates an off-putting image of the Zulus, and we're sure it was also added with intent.
Now, we are only speculating, but this scene of Shaka and a few women receiving a mirror as a gift raised some questions for us. Not only does this shot of them receiving their first mirror from a British traveller create an image of the Zulus being naive and uncultured, which they might have been if you define culture by European standards, it also makes the British look like heroes, because it is implying that the women always needed a mirror and are so grateful for this gift. This supports the British ideal of justifying the changes they bring to a country by doing so in the name of culture, Christianity and civilization. And also, they would have seen their reflections before because of water. Also, this woman is inspecting herself as any European woman would. Zulu women and Western women did not have the same ideals toward body image. She would definitely not need to inspect her face for things such as wrinkles or impurities. And also, if this were a white woman, people would have been offended by her naked breasts.
Well, that's all the ranting we'll be doing about Zulu women's breasts for today, so we hope you enjoyed this video. There are various portrayals of Shaka, the Zulu leader from the 1800s, including military genius and Napoleon of Africa, cruel tyrant and builder of a nation. Colonial documentation and history greatly influenced our idea of Shaka today, as the writings of British settlers who purposefully tried to make Shaka sound cruel and animal-like formed the basis of textbooks and TV series for a very long time. We have been studying sources and their reliability and purpose this term, and have learned that we know very little when it comes to the truth about Shaka and the reason for the tragedies between the late 1700s and 1840s. We made this video to share some of our ideas and questions about the representation of Shaka, and to encourage others to start questioning what they accept as the truth. We do not wish to offend or force our opinions on anybody. We want to encourage curiosity and initiative. We haven't covered even half of the interesting things we can discuss about this series, so please check out this link of another more in-depth analysis of the historical accuracy and implications of Shaka Zulu. All the links are down below.
We did not film any of the footage. We gathered it from YouTube and Google.